Hi there, welcome to you. Breaking news for you from Somalia. A new turn, a new twist in Ethiopia Somalia relations. Nothing good seems to be happening. A key decision made by Somalia's Council of Ministers about Ethiopia just a few minutes ago. We are waiting for the official statement to be released, but several sources are confirming what Somalia's government did a few minutes ago. What did the Somalia's Council of Ministers decide? What will happen next? And can this decision be enforced or not? Firstly, let me uh, share what is being reported by several Somali sources. Again, I would say official confirmation is awaited. Somalia's cabinet is at a meeting. We have not seen official statements so far. We're trying to get official statement, but it is being confirmed by people who are closely monitoring the developments in Mogadishu. So what happened? What happened, viewers, is that today Council of Ministers of Somalia met meeting chaired by Hamza Abdi Bare, the Prime Minister. President is not in Somalia these days. He is in Saudi Arabia. 2 days ago, he arrived in Saudi Arabia on the invitation of Saudi government reportedly. Hamza Abdi Bare is basically is not independent. He does what he is told to do. Power lies with the president. Hassan Sheikh is the man in power in Somalia. And we know that now the man has acquired more powers because a few days ago, Somalia's parliament approved some controversial amendments giving powers, more powers to Hassan Sheikh. So Hamza Abdi Bare met, but again, he's a tool. Hamza Abdi Bare chaired a meeting of Council of Ministers. By the way, ministers are also helpless. When the amendments were passed at the parliament a few days ago, the MPs were not shown the amendments. When Somalia Turkey Defense Treaty was ratified by the parliament, MPs were not shown the agreement. So these ministers cannot go against the federal government. Somalia has declared Ethiopian ambassador persona non grata. Ethiopian ambassador has been told to leave the country. He has been expelled from Somalia. Who is this man? This is first point announced reportedly to be announced by Somalia's Council of Ministers. First point is that Ethiopian ambassador Mukhtar Muhammad has been expelled. And we know that when the controversy which emerged between Ethiopia and Somalia arose in January this year, Somalia recalled its ambassador to Ethiopia. So there has been no Somalia's ambassador in Ethiopia since January. But Ethiopian ambassador was working in Somalia. And if you remember, Hamza Abdi Bare, the Prime Minister, a few weeks ago said that Somalia wanted to have good ties with Ethiopia, and Somalia had not expelled Ethiopian ambassador. Ethiopian airline was operating in Somalia. Ethiopian troops were operating in Somalia. He mentioned that Ethiopian ambassador was working in Somalia. But today, reportedly, the Council of Ministers decided to expel Ethiopian ambassador, firstly. Secondly, we'll talk about reason as well. We'll talk about what happened the last few days as well. Secondly, the federal government of Somalia has announced the closure of Ethiopian consulates in two cities. Which cities? One is in Puntland, that is Garowe, I think it's main city there. And the other is in Somaliland, Hargeisa. Ethiopia has a consulate in both these cities. Can this decision be implemented? Because Puntland is not on good terms with Mogadishu these days. And one of the reasons behind this decision is the visit of a high level delegation from Portland to Ethiopia. I broke this news yesterday that a top level Portland delegation led by Minister of Finance, I think, was visiting Ethiopia, received by Ethiopian Minister of Foreign Affairs. And reportedly, Sayyidullah Dini, Portland president, also stopped in Ethiopia while he was on his way to the UAE, but not officially confirmed. No pictures, no videos, but reportedly it happened. That angered Somalia. Somalia decided to cut off diplomatic ties with Ethiopia after it saw that Ethiopia and Somaliland, Ethiopian Puntland, were agreeing on a common agenda. Now, the decision to close Ethiopian consulates in Garove and Hargeisa is going to be difficult to be implemented. Why? Because Somaliland says it's an independent country. It won't allow the closure of Ethiopian consulate in Hargeisa. Same would happen in the case of Portland too. Portland won't allow the closure of Ethiopian consulate in Garove. So consulates won't be closed. But the ambassador, Ethiopian ambassador, can be expelled. Why? Because he's based in Mogadishu. So he'll have to leave. Now, what does this indicate? Why is that Somalia took this decision now? The MOU was signed in January. Why decision taken now? Well, MOU was signed in January between Ethiopia and Somaliland, which still is an MOU. It could not translate into an agreement. Under the MOU, Ethiopia was due to gain access to the sea through Somaliland, establish a naval base there in return for recognizing Somaliland as a country and giving share to Somaliland in Ethiopian alliance. But the MOU could not be implemented due to immense diplomatic pressure from Somalia. So why now? I mean, in January, Somalia could have expelled Ethiopian ambassador. Why now? Well, the reason is very simple. Reason is that now another state, federal member state of Somalia, seems to be joining Somaliland in forming an alliance with Ethiopia against Mogadishu. That state is Puntland. That is why Mogadishu is now worried. It believes that Ethiopia is creating divisions in Somalia. Ethiopia is backing divisions. Ethiopia is backing Puntland. It is backing Somalia. By the way, Puntland Mogadishu dispute is an internal dispute. Puntland has been opposing constitutional amendments for weeks. Farmajo Sharif Sheikh, former president of Somalia, visited Puntland. Puntland warned against controversial amendments passed by the parliament a few days ago. And after that, Puntland issued a statement. It said that it stopped recognizing Hassan Sheikh as the president. It was not going to recognize the constitution, and it would operate as an independent, self-governing region. So that announcement by Puntland definitely was an announcement of self-governance. I wouldn't say separation or secession, but and after that, we saw that Dini went to Addis Ababa reportedly, not made public, and a top delegation from Puntland visited Addis Ababa. So that angered Somalia. Somalia believes now that Ethiopia is complicating Somalia's internal matters. We had some hopes that maybe Ethiopia-Somalia relations will improve, because we heard from Djibouti's Minister of Foreign Affairs, I think. He said that Djibouti was mediating between Ethiopia and Somalia. First round of talks was held in Nairobi, and second was due to be held in Djibouti. He announced that officially. So we were hoping that the tensions would de-escalate, that maybe the two sides would start dialogue. That is what international community has been calling for, that Ethiopia and Somalia should sit, they should resolve their dispute through dialogue. Somalia has been resisting dialogue, saying that no dialogue. Dialogue can only be held after Ethiopia withdraws from the controversial MOU. It means this development indicates that in the last 3 months, no considerable progress could be made to diffuse tensions between Ethiopia and Somalia. By the way, some viewers have been commenting. They've been saying, Sajid, this MOU issue is dead. Why do you keep on raising this MOU issue? MOU is dead. It cannot be implemented. You just hate Somali. You see now. Is MOU issue dead? It's not dead. You are seeing what the MOU is leading to, that the issue is still alive. Ethiopia has not formally withdrawn from the memorandum of understanding. Any day, it can be translated into an agreement. Somaliland is more than committed for implementation. Ethiopia a little slow. Ethiopia now managed to find another ally in Somalia, Puntland. So coming days are very crucial. Diplomatic tensions will rise. You will see more such measures which would indicate that Horn of Africa is seeing a very troubled year. I said in January, by the way, when this year kicked off, I said 2024 would be a challenging year for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa, East Africa, and that is what seems to be happening. Let's see. We'll try to update you if the statement is issued officially. We're waiting for that, but most sources are confirming this development. Thank you for watching.